Good morning. I am Von Kevitz, knit and crochet designer for VK Dare to Be Original on Galilee Life. I wasn't prepared. As am I ever. This winter or this cold season in the fall is making my lips dry. And I feel like the older I get, the more I battle with dry skin. So, give you a couple of seconds. Hopefully you guys can find me. Dear Jesus, thank you for another beautiful, wonderful week and a great opportunity to spend some time with my beautiful creative friends. May you bless our hearts and our minds and renew our strength to create and make this world beautiful just as you have. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Y'all, I created this week, and not only did I create this week, but I finished a project. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't have my husband's fancy camera, so I got my little laptop here. So my little laptop doesn't show you the beautiful details of this felted bag, and then a little magnetic clasp to close it up. So here, look at it. And I went and got the strap at Joann's. I tried to go to Hobby Lobby and I couldn't find it. Oh, I was wondering what was jingling in there. My keys are in here. This is going to be my bag. My model was just asking me how long did it take to make this bag. So perfect detail. So I got this wool yarn from work. Not one of my boss. She got a sample of a wool yarn, and it's super thick, like it's super chunky. From Kramer Yarns. I think you can. The mill is near in our state, I think, because we source some of their finer wools, like the thinner wools, right? But this is like some of their stuff. But this is that's just a little sample. But this is like a chunky wool, and so I wanted to make a lunch bag because I was like, my bags are. I just wanted to make a big. I envisioned a huge lunch bag, but I only had 2 of these skeins, and when I started making it, I was making it really big. Let me see how. I got this fancy little yarn, little sewing kit at Hobby Lobby with my coupon, of course. I just got a tape, so I want to see. I think I started, I don't know if it actually really shrank that much. It's 15 inches. I think it was only like 15 and a half when I first did it. But the thing is when I wash it, it basically like fuzzed up and closed up the holes. Any kind of gap that you get from crocheting, it's all gone, and especially the bottom. So there's no holes in it. So that's why I was like, this was a great felting project. And all I just did was throw it in the washer, cold water with my regular wash, and then in the dryer. And it fuzzed up a bit. And then I did it again with another load, and that was the produce of this. So all the holes are completely gone. There is no gap. There's no space. And but I don't know if it necessarily shrank as much, but I'm just so excited. So what I did was I started off down here, just chained a whole bunch until my desired width. And then I turned around and I just did a half double crochet. And then on the edges, I did 3 double crochets, like the very corner one, 3 double crochets. And then the second row I did right before the edge, right before the 3 double crochets, I did 2 double crochet on the stitch before it, just to give you just to expand the round a little bit. So in theory, it's actually supposed to be like this. It's supposed to have a bottom like that. And then where this was, I ended up doing the back row only all the way across, so that it would form this shape. But with the felting, it didn't take the shape. It didn't take the shape, but I think it's because I wasn't really shaping it, so it just became kind of flat and where it folded. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm not. It doesn't bother me that much because when I fill it, it could widen. It could widen, or it won't. It won't have to. But so it makes a really cute flat bag, and it lays with my body really nicely. So I love it. And then I just throw my bullet journal in there. I just put my bullet journal in there, put my wallet in, put my keys, put my phone, and then maybe some tissue. Who knows? So I'm like so excited. It could even be a great yarn bag too. I could even throw a project in here. It's like so big. Yeah, it made me feel so good to create. This is something I made a while back ago. I look at this and I still can't believe I made this because I still can't believe I knew how to add zippers, and then it's even lined 100% uh, cotton lining on the inside. And not only was it lined, but there's a zipper inside that lining. I was experimenting, and it became this is actually my zipper bag. I have it out because I was looking for I had my magnetic clasp in there. I had a spare, and then it came in handy for this bag. So I was like super, super, super excited. So that is what is going on with me. I do not, remind me later. I do not want to update my Evernote. So besides this project, besides this beautiful bag that I made for myself. So what I did was, if you guys want to know how to get this striping, so what I did was I just did great. I knew I had 2 balls, right? 2 balls of yarn, the blue and the green. So I started with the green for a little bit, and then it was about a little bit, about a third of the way, 2/3 of the way, and I had about a third left. So that's when I introduced the blue. And then I just did 1 row of the blue, 1 row of the green, and worked my way up. No, just 1 crochet over, and then I just crisscrossed until I carried the yarn up. So you don't see any, there's no seams, or there's no anything like that. So, and then all I did was just work in the round. I just kept going in the round. And so you can't really tell where the beginning and the end is. It's at one of these 2 sides, and then got all the way up, and then until I ran out. So I kept alternating until I ran out of the green, and then I basically finished off with the blue, and that's how you get this striping effect. So if you ever have 2 balls of yarn and you're not sure like how much or how further, start off with one for a good amount, and then alternate it until you run out of the yarn, and then finish off with the other one, and it gives this beautiful like striping effect. And it pretty much evens out. But even if it didn't even out, it would still look beautiful whichever way it worked until it finished off. But so that's my beautiful work of the week. Oh, and then since I found this strap at Joann's, right, there was many different ones, but my model and I picked this, and I'm happy I picked it because it matches my bullet journal. This darker brown. She wanted me to get a lighter brown, but I thought that was too much for me. And then I have this D-ring. Now, because this is crochet, it's so forgiving, and all I just did was whip stitch this in, so it's nice and secure. It ain't going anywhere. And then basically, if I want to wash this bag, I just have to take this out and just throw this in the washer, because all it's got is this metal thing. Make sure that's dry so it doesn't rust on me. And then I'll just make sure that part's dry, the 2 buckles, the 2 magnetic buckles, so that won't rust on me. And then boom, this bag is totally washable. And I'm sure the more I do it, that this might like firm it even further. I don't know, but I'm so excited about it. Now I had to look up to see how people use this, but normally when they sew a tab. But since it's just crochet, you can just, and this isn't going anywhere. This is nice and firm. It's not going to pull. It's not going to, because this is a felted bag. It's not going to stretch. It's totally like, what's the word? Indestructible. So The other thing I'm working on, if you guys want a sneak peek, so I collaborated with Tina with Owened Yarn, and she and I'm creating a pattern for her. So I'm working on a pattern, and I'm almost looking for my. Oh, here's my hook. I'm almost done. In this kit, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls of mini yarn. They're super, so they're tiny little balls, and 6 of them, which is in the kit, will yield this big, beautiful color block. So I'm working on my very last one, which is the yellow, and this is the pattern that I am working on. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm doing this one, and then she's got a sparkly line where there's sparkles inside with the strand. So that's the one I'm actually going to do the tutorials on, the ones that are solid. If you're hearing the noise in the background, that is Eddie snoring. Eddie is my black and tan beagle. And the beautiful thing about this entire pattern is I created, if you can read, you can't read it from this camera, but you could read it from maybe in the past videos. You see that I have on the post-it note linked double crochet. I've had linked double crochet for like 2 years on that board, and I'm finally using that technique in this scarf, and it is so gorgeous. A linked double crochet is literally the same thing as a double crochet, except for the yarn over part. You're actually going to hook underneath, like from the stitch below. So instead of a yarn over and stick it into the next hole, what you do is you're going to not yarn over, and you're just going to stick your hole in the previous like half hook. You're going to slip stitch in there, and that creates your yarn over, and then you go into the bottom, and there's your 1, 2. So that's the linked part of it. And it was a little like clunky when I first did it, but the beautiful effect of it, but once I got used to it, I just learned to like pay attention to where I'm going to yarn over and slip stitch, not yarn over, slip stitch in the previous stitch below, the halfway point. But what makes this really cool is that it's a double crochet. So it's kind of like in between a half double crochet and a full double crochet, where it's as tall as a double crochet. So the project works a little faster, right? It's like a little higher, but as strong as a half double crochet. And that's why it's a beautiful beautiful stitch pattern to work with. And it's sturdy. It's sturdier than a regular double crochet. The reason why you're seeing like a holy and gaps is that's on purpose. That's to give you like that eyelet lace look, and that's achieved by me using a bigger hook size with a finer yarn. So it like naturally has a lace look to it, but this yarn is so soft, and the colors are so beautiful. I love her hand dye because it gives like such a speckly, like this camera won't show it to you, but it gives such a like speckly dye to it, where some of it is more saturated and some of it is light. So as you're doing it, it gives it like a motley look, and it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is gorgeous yarn. She does such a beautiful job. And it's going to be so colorful, like when you're done. I was hoping to have done this for the spring, but that's okay. We need a little color in our lives in the fall, anyways, in the fall and the winter, to brighten it up. And so one ball will achieve about that much blockage, and then another ball the pink is working on the stripe, so but it goes all the way the length of the scarf. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow to finish it off. And yeah, so that's what I'm working on. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this new pattern that's coming out. So I'm quite excited about it. And I'm quite excited about my handbag to be using that. And then that's pretty much it. That's what's going on in my world. I have some other projects that I am working on. So my model and her husband are huge golfers. He's actually a trainer. Is that what those golfing trainers do? He coaches. And he's got a golf shop. He's got a simulation shop. And she's been golfing with him for years. And so for years, she has requested that I create golf club covers and put them in the shop and everything. And I never bothered at the time to figure it out because it always seemed so hard and I wasn't interested in it. But now I'm like, I see the potential in doing so because there is a clientele, there is a customer base in golf club covers, and it's a niche enough category that only like golfers like want it. That's what you know what I mean? They look for it. And so I've been experimenting with that and trying to figure out. I got one done just as a template, but that's a knit version with double pointed needles, and it's too clunky for me to figure out. So I'm trying to figure out if I can come up with a crocheted spiral. So I might have to. I was thinking about it. I was like, I might have to refer to Vanessa and ask her, designed by Vanessa, if she can help me figure out like how to do a crochet spiral. I have an idea where I think it's just the back loop only, almost like a chain, like, where you do the brim of a hat. So I'm thinking of coming up with that. And so that's in the docket of what's coming. So it's just a fun time right now. I love the fall. See, the fall makes you want to grab your yarn and your hook or your needle and get to work, doesn't it? I'm trying to think of what else there's like nobody here. Did I take too long of a break, guys? Is that what happened? Did I take 2 weeks off because we've been building John's mom's porch, who his aunt lives in right now. And so her porch got destroyed we had a tornado or something a year ago, and it decimated the porch. And we thought we were just gonna like reinforce the post, and it turned out it was so bad that we ended up demoing like the whole porch and rebuilding it from scratch. John and I, just the two of us. So I've been a construction worker for about a month now, and that's with all of our spare time, which is, for me, is the weekends. So every Saturday and today we're gonna go and finish up with the handrails, and then he's gonna paint and all that stuff, like the finishing work, but the handrails is the last big thing. And so that's why I haven't been on the past couple of weekends. But today, since we're gonna start a little later, well, as soon as I'm done here, but actually I hear him moving, so I think I'm gonna end up wrapping it up anyway, since it's just me. But I will be back. I hope to be back next weekend, but next weekend I might have one more car visit. I have to get an oil change. Everything happens on Saturdays, people. So this is the new pattern coming out. Keep an eye out for it. I'm hoping to finish it very soon. This is my beautiful felted handbag that I'm showing off, and I'm totally bragging about. And I got the straps at Joann's. I got the D ring at Hobby Lobby. And I believe I got this magnetic clasp at Hobby Lobby as well. And y'all, I hope you have a fantastic week. And enjoy your weekend. And I will see you next week, God willing. All right. God bless, guys. Bye-bye.